If you guys want to receive a lot of beautiful content, please subscribe to my YouTube page and subscribe so you'll get more videos. So now back to this conversation. So we're talking about how the true masculine and the true feminine can really show up. If you want to attract a relationship where you allow a woman to truly step into her feminine, you must realize the responsibility of providing accountability, providing stability, knowing that you may have and want the ideas of like running from place to place to place to do different things, to be able to like, put your imprintation or your stamp on different places. But it's like if you want to build a castle and you keep taking the bricks to build a castle and you lay them in different places around the world, you'll have the same 1,000 bricks for a castle all over the place, but you'll not have a single castle. You won't even have a home. You may not even have a second floor. So those same 1,000 bricks, you have to stay consistent. You have to stay grounded. You have to show up for yourself first, so importantly, because then after that, you're able to fully show up for someone else. What is the biggest thing that gives someone trust? Knowing. So if the feminine needs trust from the masculine, it needs to know that the masculine will show up. It needs to know that the masculine will be there. And what better way to show up than with consistency? That is the responsibility of the masculine, in a way, to be able to show up consistently, to be able to show up for that space, to allow more and more of the feminine to know that this will show up, the masculine will be there, that I can trust. That's also what allows a lot of women who have had like a wounded feminine energy or who've had to develop a strong masculine energy, it allows them to let go of that conditioning. It allows the ego to fall down. It allows them to step into trust. It allows to show up more of themselves. And so consistency, even at the beginning in your relationships, if you're not met with this like instant magical connection, that's actually a good thing. Because what you're doing now in this case is both of you are showing up more and more with healing to say, okay, each step of the way I'm unconsciously proving that this relationship, I'm unconsciously proving that I will be there for you. I'm unconsciously proving that even though you doubt it, I will keep showing up. And that's what allows the feminine to trust and be able to fall into letting the masculine show up for them. Now, take the opposite. If you're talking about the feminine, right? And you're saying, okay, what should the feminine have to do, Yats, to be able to show up? I can tell you as a man, there is nothing, no energy more beautiful that I have witnessed in the world than a true feminine energy. Naturally, because I can't have it. I can't have it like that. And so I'm so attracted to it. And I'm so attracted to it because this is my nature and my nurture aspect. And that will ultimately lead me to having the relationship that will help me procreate or do whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, I must find that energy so appealing. So what's it that makes that energy so appealing? It is the understanding that when you trust and when you surrender, you will reap the rewards of letting go. Now, the biggest problem with that is that the biggest barrier to letting go is what? Past trauma. I was telling my same friend that I was talking to, one of the most challenging things, again, about so many women who I deal with in my space is that unfortunately, so many of them are the victims of sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and physical abuse. Now, the same thing that a little safe feminine energy is supposed to get, which is trust, which is safety, which is protection, if they get the opposite, if they get suppression, if they get like the strong male role model is absent, so that's not there, or there's some other figure in their life that suppressed them, that's humiliated them, that's objectified them, then what do you expect this feminine to do? It has to protect itself. And so it puts a layer around that self that says, I cannot trust. It is not safe to trust. And that is the biggest limiter to being able to step into true connection with the masculine. Because it limits them from showing up and surrendering and just saying, I trust you because I see that you can be safe. I trust you because I see that you can show up for me. And the unconscious thing that we don't realize about relationships is that the more, or the less rather, that we heal our own wounds and work with what we're going through, the more that we attract situations and relationships into our lives that will keep bringing up that wound, that'll keep bringing up that pattern. So for the feminine, I think this is, I don't even know like whether it was God or the universe or whoever who designed it. For the feminine, it's so important to heal the wounds of trauma. For the masculine, it's so important to heal the wounds of trauma, yes, but to heal the wounds of conditioning also very strongly. The conditioning of like limiting emotional expression, limiting like how you show up in terms of security, how you can hold space for someone who's feeling traumatized. Think about this. If you had a really strong, internally secure masculine, and if you had like a woman who had gone through so much trauma or emotional trauma coming to the table, this masculine would know it, would hold space, and would be able to surround it with protection, would be able to say, I feel you, I hear you, I know that this is what you need. I know you need space. I know you need to work through this. I know you need time. I know you need all of those things. It allows the female then, or the feminine, to slowly let go, and they meet each other like this. So for the feminine, it's important to prioritize healing a lot of that trauma that limits the physical, emotional, and the spiritual experience. The spirit is the strongest association of the feminine energy. And so they say the best like physical experience or orgasms or sexual feeling that you have is when you allow like something to flow through your body, and that's like your spiritual feeling. But that's all limited and blocked off by the walls based on our traumas from our childhood. So for the feminine, if you work on the internal healing of yourself, if you work on reparenting to show up for yourself, for your inner child, with more protection, with more love, to keep it safe, to nurture the sweet little inner child inside you, the sweet little girl or feminine expression inside you, it starts to flow into your present so much more. It starts to open up into your adulthood or in your present expression so much more. And here's the thing. Next question would be, well, if I flow into trust so much and I'm able to like subtly surrender, like how do I know I'm going to surrender to the right guy? How do I know I'm going to surrender to the right like masculine energy? When you are so confident of your feminine energy, you are so internally aware of your feminine energy based on like healing your wounds, your past wounds, and what's held you back, you will just attract the masculine energy that perfectly fits into your space. Or you will attract the masculine energy that you know can grow as you're holding space with your feminine energy. You don't need to worry about re-traumatization, because that happens when we still haven't healed the wound. Think about it. If I had an ankle injury, right? I'm playing soccer, for example, because I love soccer. If I haven't healed my wound, every time I go to play football or soccer, I'm always thinking about like, oh shit, I'm going to twist it. So I'm not showing up as myself. I'm holding back. I'm not sprinting 100%. I'm not kicking the ball well enough. So I'm not truly showing up. Therefore, I'm not attracting my best performance. Therefore, I'm not attracting, like if someone wants to pick me for a team, my best team. But if I focus on healing that wound, if I focus on actually nurturing that ankle injury and like where I'm feeling the pain, so if we're talking about like our wounded perspective, men and women, if I focus on healing where the limitation comes from, what's holding me back in my past, then when I step in fearlessly. I step in as a woman or the feminine, I step in with trust, with surrender, and I say that I know you, and I will support you, and I will push you. The feminine pushes the masculine. A lot of people don't realize this. They think like, oh, you may be saying that a woman just has to support and a man just has to work, and like, no. The masculine cannot develop enough of a spine without the nurturing support of the feminine. Think about how important that is. That if you in your life, whether as a wife, whether as a mother, whether as like an individual woman, if you want to have a strong masculine energy in your life, think about how much of a part you have to play in being able to create a strong spine in your life, your family, your relationships. That's what the feminine does. The spine is the masculine. Think about it like the body. You have the spinal cord and you have the backbone, right? If you didn't have muscles supporting them, they would all just shrivel and fall. They would all just snap in a second. There would be no protection. The muscles of the back are so important that any game you play, any weightlifting you do, anything, the first thing you hurt when you hurt your back, if you're like doing a deadlift overweight or anything else, is you hurt the muscles. You hurt the support system before you hurt the spine, because that's your protectional mechanism. That's how powerful the feminine is, that it supports the baseline. So each one of them is so important for a relationship. Whether you are like in a heterosexual or homosexual relationship or any of those, whatever you identify with, they both are so important to be had in a relationship. Whether you're the feminine or whether you're the masculine, prioritize on healing your wounds and your conditioning, because you'll notice that in your present moment as a masculine, you'll suddenly realize, wow, there's pride in accepting responsibility. There's pride in really showing up for someone. There's pride in being accountable and knowing that even if someone's wounded, I can stand there and not take it fucking personally. That's what the wounded masculine does. But you stand there and you're like, I know you're hurting, and I can hold you and I can rub your back. If Every time a child cried, think about this. Every time a child cried, if the father was like, oh my God, I'm such a failure as a father, what am I going to do? The child would be like, dude, like, I don't know if I can survive in this house. There's too much fucking drama going on. And so sometimes as the masculine, it's your responsibility to stand there, hold your ground, hold them close and say, it's going to be okay. I know it's really hurting and I can really feel you, but you hold them in your arms with your like shoulders and your arms around, and you hold that energy and you're like, I know it's hurting and I will keep you safe. And as the feminine, it's required for you when you go through that to know that, okay, I have to prioritize my own healing. I cannot expect someone else to heal me. I can expect them to protect me, to keep me safe, to keep me grounded, but I cannot expect them to heal me. And so for the feminine, it's important to be dedicated to your spiritual expression, to your energetic feminine expression. It's important to connect with like the gods, the earth, Mother Earth. It's important to connect with such important like spiritual energy inside you and to heal so many of those childhood wounds, because that then allows you, if something is there holding you and ready to put its arms around you, it allows you to just fall into it. And that feeling of when you have the feminine just fall into the masculine and the masculine can just put its arms around you, you know what it does? It does two things. It allows the feminine to just trust, fall, like just simply release, let go, surrender, and say like, I'm here and I can feel this protective energy so strongly around me. I can feel it just keeping me so safe that I can just let go. I can be vulnerable and I can just let my energies fly, and I can make sure both of us stay on our path. I can make sure both of us are protected by like the spirituality. I can make sure that we give each other truly what we want. And for the masculine, it allows it to feel strong. It allows the masculine to feel needed. It allows the masculine to feel relevant. It allows the masculine to feel like I'm here to keep you safe. It allows the masculine to know that when the feminine next gets hurt, that he has to show up, that it has to be available, that it can't just like run away from it. It allows the masculine to feel like I am bigger and stronger than I think I am. I am relevant in this person's life. I do understand this person's emotions. I have space for my own emotions in here because they're also listening to me. And that union, that connection is so powerful. People can joke about it. They can criticize it. I just want to really tell you, people give me a lot of hateful shit because they think that I'm segregating the masculine and the feminine and like I'm going into prehistoric norms of like conversation. And that's fine. People can choose what they want to follow. But I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be in this. I don't have it right now, truth be told, because I know there's another element of me that needs to evolve. But I know what it feels like for me, and I know how beautiful it can feel like for you. And that feeling of connection and relationship and true surrender but protection is just so powerful to create the life and the relationship that you really want. I'm going to be launching a membership program, and it's going to be really affordable, really accessible, really easy for everybody to jump into. And I'm going to do a couple of calls a month. We're going to have like really awesome stuff in there. We're going to have like journals to give you guys for free to work throughout the year, reflection stuff. There's going to be a mini course coming out as part of that. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of amazing stuff through this membership that comes on, and it's going to be so accessible for so many of you to bring a lot of like people who want to really do the healing work together in one space, and to rely on that accountability that says, okay, every little while I have this call, every little while I have this work, every little call I have this meditation. And that consistency is what really allows us to show up for our inner child. So it's not the gauntlet. The gauntlet is like our more intense value work, which is where we take you individually through that process. But this is going to be like a big membership space, and it's a good introduction for a lot of people into inner work. It's a safe introduction for a lot of people into inner work, where they can really find the value of like how to connect, how to just surrender, how to like find more security with themselves, etc. So in the meantime, follow our YouTube channel. It's a link in bio is the YouTube channel, and all of this stuff is going to go there. I'm not going to put these out on my Instagram. They're all going to go up there. So if you love this value, share it with your friends. Tell people to follow this page. Share the joy. You know, if it's healing you, share it with other people. Give it to the world. Carl Jung, who is probably my most favorite psychologist, said that we all live in a collective unconscious, which means if I am changing my vibration even a little bit up or down, I'm unconsciously affecting everyone around me. So if my vibration moves upwards, I'm unconsciously affecting the vibration of the entire fucking world, animals and human beings alike. So the more I collectively focus on me improving my vibration, the more I'm unconsciously contributing to the world, the more I'm unconsciously contributing to people rising together. And that is my mission, truthfully, to be able to take what I can, what I know, what I feel, what I connect with, my experiences, give it to the world and say, if this can help you, take this. Elevate your lives. Elevate your lives of your children, your parents, your cousins, your friends, your partners, yourself, most importantly.